All praises, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakam. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakathum. And we are the brothers at the Kansas City Church with our, recurring special guest, brother from the Netherlands. Shalom. And we're here to chant down Babylon the Great, which is America according to the scriptures. You have a lot of things in motion going around in the news while other men are distracted by podcasts and clout chasing. America's in a full-blown trade war. We were just speaking about that earlier, about how Trump throws the stone and thinks he can just take his hand back, but he really can't, because you've already poked the economic bear. Because America has this triangle offense with America running the military and then London running the financial system and the Vatican spilling bullshit religion. But China and Russia and Iran has theirs, man. Because Russia basically is the military arm of the East and China is the economic arm of the East. And who is America been fucking with the whole time? Russia and China. Who are they trying to program you on? Russia and China. And then they uncover things and they show you what they've been in cahoots with them to spoil their own people, man. And now they got supply chain issues. The brother can get James 5 or whatever y'all got.
I got a quick one. This is 2nd Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
That's right. So when he goes into measuring the time, that don't mean that you can just go out there and tell people that they're Israelites, man. You got to be in the spirit of watching. That's why we have the moniker of a watchman. It's not enough to go out there and hand out pamphlets, man. Okay? If you're a true man, you're measuring the time diligently, man. That means you're into prophecy, you're into geopolitics. All right, you're watching things for the sake of this place, the destruction of this place.
I got a real quick preset. This is Habakkuk 2:1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
That's right. And what is the vision? That's the prophecy, man. And what are we doing? When it says make it plain, what does that mean? We got to be able to go into Revelation and tell you what the red dragon means. We got to be able to correlate these things to what we see in the world. Why the Christian church is charging you $50 subscription plans just to make you feel good. We're actually telling you things that are relevant that are going to happen, man.
Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
That's right. The vision is going to speak and not lie. So at the end of the day, this is why we don't get into debates and try to convince people, man. Because the vision is going to speak for itself. The prophecy is going to speak for itself. There's a reason that DJ Trump is in cahoots with the small hats to silence free speech, to get men off the corners, basically. There's a reason for that, because the prophecy is speaking louder than anything we could ever say, man. The elder did a video last week. He said the internet did the heavy lifting. And that's true, because this gospel has been preached already. And ain't really nothing he can do about it except get violent, okay? And believe us, he's going to get violent when it's all said and done.
That's right. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 in the NLT. It said, for this lawlessness is already at work secretly. Can you get that in KJV? 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 7. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 7. For this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahweh Shai will slay him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. We're going to read it in the KJV. Go ahead, Ike.
2 Thessalonians 2:7. All right, it says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way."
And we know that mystery of iniquity is these Edomites being in power and pushing wicked agendas into the earth, man. So the scripture said it was already at work because the same wicked was already in power as the Romans, man.
Yep.
And now 2025, that power is translated to the same nation, the wicked, the Edomites, man.
Yep. That's right.
Keep on.
Verse 8, it says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
Right, shall destroy with the spirit of his mouth, man. The spirit of the mouth is resting upon the prophets, man. That's why we hear, not only here in Kansas City today, but GMS worldwide has that spirit of Yahweh Shah's mouth to destroy this wicked, man.
Yep. That's up in Jeremiah. You say, I will make the words fire.
Yeah, these people would.
You know, this is why they're going to be so angry. This is why they're going to demonize us and come up with all kind of words to label us and slander us. And it's going to come from your own people, man. You know, it's going to come from people that say that they're Israelites. Say they believe that they're Israelites. They're going to be the main niggas out there slandering you, man. You know?
Got that James 4. This is James 4, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss." Thanks.
Break it down.
You know, so ultimately, you know, where do all these wars and stuff come from? You know, amongst you, because we're living in times of evil. And these people are just basically at each other's throats. So you got a lot of trade wars going on right now. But that's the spirit of this place going down.
Yeah.
Because the scriptures talk about how there's going to be a collapse.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I got a research. It's concerning the wicked, you know, who is going to be revealed. It's Malachi 1:4 that reads, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return to build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever."
Forever, man. And you know this is talking about these devils here, man, because it says they came here desolate. You know, when you look at the history of this place, they had to rely on God for everything, man. You know, they didn't have their riches built up. They got rich by enslaving us. You know, that's how they got rich. But they had this lofty thought in their mind that they were just going to take over the whole goddamn world, man. Ever since then, this nigga's in Australia. He's in South Africa. You know, he's all over South America.
Yeah, Asia.
Right? Building up idolatry everywhere he goes, man. It's a stench everywhere this nigga goes, man.
Right.
This river shouldn't look like that, man. You know?
See the trash right across from it. Just right. That's a good point you brought up, because, you know, you go into names of some of these other countries, they're all named after Edomites.
Mm-hmm.
China's named after fucking Edomite. Africa's named after fucking Edomite. Europe, America. That itself tells you who the devil is.
That's right.
And it gives you an indicator of where he's gone to complete genocide and conquer.
Yeah. That's right, bro.
You know, and that also proves that they return from the desolate places, because during the time of the Dark Ages, the so-called Dark Ages or the so-called Middle Ages, which, you know, the history that they don't go into in school, the Edomites were confined to the Caucasus region, man. You know, and when they came back into power during the Renaissance, all right, Europe was being ruled by Jakes. You know, all of that information as far as the knights, you know, the architecture and everything that was going on over there, it was all Jakes. It was all so-called black people, man. And so Esau had to retain that information because he crawled out of the caves, man. You know, we had to teach them how to bathe, how to wash themselves. You know, they didn't know how to do any of that. You know, and that also goes into them returning from the desolate places, because they was brought low, man.
Mhm.
You know,
And when you go to brother can grab Daniel 7:20, because that goes into when they first got here too. They came here dirt poor, you know, no shoes, missing teeth, you know. But what was in their heart the whole time? A proud look, you know. And the scriptures say his look was more stout than his fellows. That goes into boasting great things, man. You know, they was talking big shit, man, and they have not stopped since, all the way to saying they went to the moon, man.
Yeah, to the point where they are painting pictures of the Most High being an Edomite.
Right.
You know, you got that picture in fucking Italy of quote unquote God looking like a long-haired, bearded Edomite, man.
Right.
That's a disrespect to the Most High.
Right. You would go as far as to paint the Most High and his son naked,
Yeah.
and then make him have a small rod, man.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You gotta be a wicked fucking demon to do that shit, man.
You got that painted of King David with a small man lip.
Right.
What the fuck is that, man? Babies, naked babies as angels.
Right. That's how you know we're the judges that got covered up. Okay. It ain't no other people. We're the judges that they covered up when they came out with this so-called Renaissance art.
Yep.
You know, which art is supposed to be a free-flowing thing. It ain't supposed to be something the Pope commissions. You know, the Pope say go do an idol of that, go do that. Art is supposed to be a free market, man. That's some spiritual that you do. You know.
that's how you know that it was deliberate. It's part of
Yeah.
the prophecy.